Okay, so jumping ahead of myself a little bit there. Let's start recording for YouTube. All right. Very windy out there. Currently 413. Taking a look at the current wind conditions out there right now. We got winds out of the east-southeast at about 10 miles per hour right now, gusting pretty high. Let's actually take a look at those gusts right now. Currently got some out of the east-southeast at about 13 miles per hour. And, of course, let's move ahead of time and actually look at what we expect as far as gusts go as we get on into the overnight hours. So this is right now. We've had some gusts out of the east-southeast at about 22 miles per hour in Crossville, 23 in Geraldine, and also 21 Albertville. But it's going to get a little bit windier than that. Let's move on forward. Let's see. This is at 5 o'clock. Predicting that's wind speed. Let me move on up to the gust. Okay, so moving to the gust map now. So 4 o'clock we've had some pretty high gusts there. It's predicting wind gusts anywhere between 42 miles per hour. It's at 4 o'clock, so it's a little bit behind. Moving on up to about 5 o'clock, 44 miles per hour predicted. Now they may not exactly get that high, but that's just what it's predicting right now. Moving on forward a little bit more as we get on into the night, they get a little bit higher, showing 46 miles per hour over Crossville, 47 Geraldine. Moving a little bit later on into around 7 o'clock tonight, getting on up to about the 50. Now keep in mind, winds won't necessarily get as high as these are predicting it. I know that's pretty high right there, but there could be some gusts 50 to 55. I wouldn't doubt it at all. That's what we're seeing right now. Moving on to 8 o'clock. But these models have been all over the place. Let's look at the Iconic. Take a look at what the Iconic model shows. Now, that was a GFS. These are two different models here. And I'm going more with the Iconic model, forecast model here, than I am the GFS, because it seems a little bit more reasonable than what we just seen. Let's move it back to 4 o'clock here. That seems pretty reasonable right there. 34 miles per hour, the east-southeast. That seems about right. Moving on to 5 o'clock, same thing, about 34 mile per hour, wind gusts out of the east-southeast. 6 o'clock, 38 miles per hour out of the east-southeast. That sounds about right. Moving on to 7 o'clock, of course, showing about 40 miles per hour out of the east-southeast, Crossville, 43 Geraldine. So I'm actually going to stick with the Iconic model here because I think that the GFS is overthrowing that model just a bit. I don't think we'll see them that high, but let's take a look at what the Iconic says too, which that's what we're looking at now. 7 o'clock, it shows out of the east-southeast at about 40 miles per hour. We'll go on up to 8 o'clock, showing about 41 miles per hour here. Crossville, 45 up around Geraldine, 48 around Fife, and 45 around Fort Payne, which sounds about right. Moving on till 9 o'clock tonight, we get on up. Still 42 mile per hour wind gusts out of the east-southeast for Crossville, 46 miles per hour Geraldine, almost 50 over in Fife. So we'll move on up around 10 p.m., staying in the 40s, not made it to the 50s yet. Okay. We get on up to 11 o'clock, and Fife is, this predicted wind speeds now, showing 50 miles per hour possibly for Fife. So basically, that's where we're going to stick it out at. About anywhere between 40 and 50 miles per hour is as high as I think we'll go. We'll move on up on into later tonight. That right there is 5 a.m. So moving on into tomorrow morning, it kind of settles down just a bit. Around 7 a.m., it starts to go down to 20, 30 miles per hour. 10 o'clock tomorrow, everything kind of starts to move out. So it's still going to be breezy. We'll still get some good wind gusts out there tomorrow. But looks like the highest gust will be overnight tonight. So that being said, that's what we're looking at right now as far as wind speeds go. So I'm really sticking it out with the Iconic model. I believe that we will see wind gusts anywhere between 40 and 50. I don't think they're going to get up to 60 or anything like the GFS was predicting. It could, but I really don't think it will. So that being said, let's take a look at the radar across the area, though. After looking at that, got those showers starting to push in as predicted. Around 6 o'clock was when some of that heavier stuff was supposed to get here. But pretty on point. We got that warm front pushing in. It's supposed to move on up from the southwest to the northeast. Have that warm front push in. It'll bring a lot of heavy rain, maybe even some thunderstorms overnight. Severe threat stays south of our area, though, which is some good news. So, but further south, they got some nasty weather going to come across there. Some significant tornado perimeters down there far south. Now, when I say far south, I'm talking way down here around Mobile, the Gulf Coast area there, southern Mississippi, the coast down through here. That's where we're expecting it to be the worst. We'll actually take a look at the SPC models here in a second, and we'll look at that just to see what's changed. Right now, there is some showers moving in from the south. Things will start to pick up around 6 o'clock as forecasted there, and I'm trying to get my map to cooperate. But as you can see to our west, lots and lots and lots of rainfall on the way, and even further back, it just keeps going. I mean, just a lot of rainfall coming in with this system, and I'd expect anywhere between probably 2 to 3 inches of rainfall by the time it's out of here. Let's get on and take a look at some of those forecast models, though. Moving on to that. Let me go ahead and move to that right now. And we'll actually take a look at tonight's forecast first. Of course, 100% chance of rain, some thunderstorms, nothing severe up here. Just have to worry about the pressure gradient winds, 40 to 50 miles per hour, but a lot of rainfall. We'll go on to tomorrow, about 100% chance of rainfall as well. It should move out of here by about 9 o'clock. It'll get pretty breezy out there. Still be a 20% chance of maybe some snow flurries. Overall, no big deal with that at all expected. Forecast outlook, of course, calling for locally heavy rainfall Monday night, which is tonight into Tuesday. 1 to 3 inches, minor flooding, localized flooding possible. Overall, no, not really too big of a deal with that. Now, let's move on to the SPC outlook, as I was talking about earlier. So, there's our severe threat, staying far south of our location. The marginal threat is actually just south of Birmingham there, and going a little bit further south than that, you have a slight risk, level 2 out of 5. And then further south than that, you have the enhanced risk, which is a level 3 out of 5. So, pretty good little situation developing down there on the coast. They could have a few tornadoes. Some of them could be EF2 or larger. Some of them could be long track too. So some nasty weather down there with this system as it continues to push on into the area later on into the night. Now let's look at the GFS model, see what we've got going on. Of course, showing it moving on in the heaviest around 6 o'clock, and then it pushes on out of here by around 9 o'clock, 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning is what it shows. So we will have some active weather tonight, lots of heavy rainfall, maybe some thunderstorms too, but the severe threat does appear to stay south of our area. Rainfall-wise, this is going to be for a 48-hour outlook here. It's going to be from now to Wednesday. By Wednesday, we should receive about 2 to 3 inches, with 4 inches being possible further south of Birmingham there. We'll move on from there. And we'll take a look at, of course, our wind advisory that we do have in effect since 3 o'clock today through 6 p.m. on Tuesday. So it's going to be windy even Tuesday. Don't get me wrong, it'll be windy on Tuesday, but the windiest will be tonight. Sustained winds 25 to 35 with wind gusts 45 to 55. So we can see those mid-50s out there and maybe even some higher gusts than that. So something to pay attention to. And I know DeKalb County schools are on a 2-hour delay tomorrow. I don't know about Fort Payne. I have no idea about Fort Payne schools yet, but I would think it included Fort Payne, it being DeKalb County. Maybe it don't. I'm not sure how they work, but I know DeKalb County is on a 2-hour delay tomorrow. And also, we have Scottsboro City Schools and Jackson County Schools on a 2-hour delay tomorrow as well. So that being said, we'll move on to the final graphic for tonight, and this is going to be for snow lovers, and I believe a lot of people have been wanting some snow. This model is valid for Monday and Tuesday of next week. Now, something we'll have to keep an eye on. We could definitely have a mixture of precipitation there. It looks like snowfall up in Tennessee with a mixture of maybe some snow, sleet, maybe that kind of thing, even maybe some freezing rain showing up there. So something we'll watch Monday and Tuesday. For snow lovers, Monday and Tuesday is what we really need to watch. That being said, that's what we got. We'll take one more look at radar before we fully wrap things up here. But that's what we've got for tonight's video. We'll take one more look at the radar here. So we got some rainfall down around Talladega, all that's pushing to the northeast. We'll have that warm front continue to push on through. Overall, no severe weather up here expected. We could have some thunder and lightning, some thunderstorms, and very heavy rainfall, very windy conditions as well. Gusts anywhere between 40 and 50, maybe some higher elevations seeing 55. Hopefully it won't go no higher than that, but we'll really be monitoring that tonight. And if it does go any higher than that, a high wind warning might be needed. It really depends. So we'll just have to really keep an eye on the wind. So we do have some showers starting to pop up across the area as the storm system does continue to move in. But that looks like that's about what we got for tonight. So going to go ahead and get ready to wrap it up for the YouTube side of things. We hope you like the content. Hope you'll like and subscribe to our channel on YouTube if you haven't already. And that being said, God bless. Take care. We'll see you on the next video. Everybody be weather aware tonight. And be careful if you're traveling, especially if you got a higher profile vehicle, because those winds are really going to be gusting out there. Thanks again.